You are watching this because you're trying to figure out YouTube. You're either on YouTube, you just got your channel set up, you're excited. Maybe you've been on it for a little while and you're just searching for more tips. Well, today I want to share with you some things you can do to use YouTube to get customers. So whether you're a service-based business and you're online, or you're a brick and mortar, which I love brick and mortars, I got some tips for you. But before I share those tips with you, I need you to go ahead and like this video because that's going to help. I need you to subscribe to the channel. What that does, it helps me to continue to bring content that are going to help people like you or people who are in business that are trying to grow. That's my mission. My name is Lutalo K. I'm a social media strategist. I work with business owners to try to help them grow their social media, and I definitely hope this video helps. So let's get into it. YouTube. So the first thing you want to make sure is know your target customer. You want to know who your target is. What's the demographic, their age, gender, whereas they're a certain location, if they're a certain income bracket in a certain industry, if they're a consumer, if they're a business owner, do they skate, do they ride a bike? I mean, hopefully you get the point. You don't have to get too totally specific, but you want to get as specific as you're comfortable with getting. That's going to make a difference in what type of, which the next thing you need to do, what type of content. So content, you want to put content, good content. I mean, YouTube is about content. YouTube is about good video content. But the type of content that you want to put out is content that helps. Content that solves a problem. Content that gives advice, that gives suggestions. You want to put content out there. That's going to build that know, like, trust. That's going to be something that's going to be really important. Customers, clients, you buy from who you know, like, and trust. Every store, that exchange, when you exchange dollars, there's a know, like, and trust factor involved in that. So you creating content creates that know, like, and trust. The next thing when it comes to YouTube is and brick and mortar. I want to talk to you brick and mortar. So anyone that actually has an office, you go to office locations where customers come in, or you actually have a storefront, retail or service where you actually get customers to come in, YouTube is off the chain right now when it comes to taking advantage of the SEO, or the search engine optimization. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, owned by the largest search engine. And I'm telling you this from experience. I have had clients that they do their videos, so they do their content video, and they put their city and state in the description, and in many cases in the title. So massage therapist, your city and state. Accountant, your city and state. Restaurant, your city and state. If you're taking advantage of YouTube, because when people do a search, that video will come up in the search. I have seen it happen, especially as you grow your YouTube channel. You're going to get more clout. You're going to get more searches, and people watch that video, and you do things to send that video out. That's going to make a huge difference. So, if you're in a restaurant and you're cooking, and you're in, New York, or you're in Chicago, Illinois, wherever you are, Atlanta, Georgia, you put that in the description, it comes up in the search. And it's not even just YouTube. It will come up in a Google search. You've seen videos come up do a Google search. Videos will come up in a Google search. And the more you do videos, the more advantage you have. You want to call it the algorithm, but that's an advantage that you have. The next thing you want to make sure is, if people comment on your videos, make sure you respond to your comments. Be strategic about that. Respond to it, good or bad. Even if it's a negative comment, respond with something positive. Be positive about it. You're gonna get, as you grow social media, if you stick with this and you stay consistent with this, you're gonna get negative comments. It's gonna happen. It is what it is. The next thing you want to make sure that you do is post consistently. If you're gonna do a video on YouTube, post consistently. What does consistently mean? You have to define that. If you're gonna put out a video every Thursday, make sure you put out that video every Thursday. Don't put out 2 videos this Thursday, next Thursday, then the next 3 weeks because you're too busy. You don't do it. Now, I mean, granted, if you got customer base like that, you don't need YouTube. You don't need YouTube. But you're watching this because you're curious about YouTube. So my recommendation is get a consistent schedule. If the minimum would be once a week. Now, with YouTube Shorts, daily could, make a difference. But you have to work your schedule. My suggestion, if you're new to YouTube or you're trying to get consistent with YouTube, start with once a week. Once a week can be powerful. I've had clients that stayed with once a week and was able to get customers from YouTube, from a search that they would not have gotten it or wouldn't likely have gotten had they not been on YouTube and posted on YouTube. So it works. I wouldn't even tell you if I hadn't seen it happen. And I've seen it happen for a couple of my clients. So let's recap. When using YouTube for business, knowing your target audience is first. Making sure that you create content that helps, that gives advice. Next thing is making sure that especially if you're brick and mortar, that you're putting city and state in the description. And if you're online business, that's okay. It still works. YouTube still works. You just want to make sure that you have content that helps. Making sure you respond to your comments. Respond to your comments. All your comments, good and bad. And last but not least, definitely not least, post consistently. I can't stress that enough. Posting consistently. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I had to get on track with this myself, but I'm on track. I had to find a system. You definitely have to find a system that makes it work for you when it comes to posting consistently. Even if that means, hey, do 4 videos, and you do those videos once. You do them once a month. So maybe it's a Sunday afternoon. You get in 3-4 o'clock. You decided what videos you're going to do. You've done a strategy, and you've got those titles. You sit down and you shoot those 4 videos. The videos don't have to be long. They could be a couple of minutes. Shoot those 4 videos, and you can schedule these videos on YouTube. Matter of fact, every social media platform you can schedule, but on YouTube you can schedule them to come out at a certain time on that day. 4 videos, that's a whole month. If you post once a week, that's a whole month. Whether you do a short or you do longs. Now, to talk about this, because we're talking about how to get clients, I actually recommend doing longs. I think YouTube at this point in the game definitely promotes longs. I'm not saying don't do shorts if you could do those combinations if you get time. And when I say long form video, that typically means about 3 minutes or more. Just like this video, when I'm done with it, maybe like 6, 7, 8 minutes. So that's a good time frame when you're breaking something down or whatever it is that you're doing with your content. But long form videos, what I recommend, especially when it comes to getting clients, I say that in the sense that when someone is researching you and they're looking at you, that time that you're able to express and talk about what it is that you do can make a difference and build a rapport with that potential customer or client. So that's just a suggestion. Doing shorts is just fine. At the end of the day, do some content and be consistent with it. That's what really needs to happen. So put in the comments, let me know, what are your thoughts on doing content? Are you going to start doing it? Are you going to figure out how to get consistent? How are you going to get consistent? Has any of these things helped? Have you been doing any of these things as far as growing your YouTube channel and to help you get customers or clients? If you're looking for more information about growing your business, your social media, your networking, please check out my other videos.